Boss battles in video games are often the ultimate test of a player's skills, but sometimes it's not the main boss that gives us the most trouble. It's those optional side bosses. These hidden or secondary encounters can turn a seemingly manageable game into a real nightmare. So today, I am counting down 10 side bosses in video games that are harder than the main bosses. First up, we have Emil from Nier Automata. While Emil starts off as a friendly, quirky character who helps you out, he hides a dark secret. His secret boss fight is one that many players stumble upon by accident and quickly regret. To even unlock this encounter, players must complete a series of cryptic tasks, destroying multiple copies of his shop's heads scattered across the world. When I first faced Emil, I wasn't prepared for the absolute chaos that ensued. His attacks are not only powerful, but they come at you at an insane speed. You have to dodge and weave through waves of lasers and explosions, all while trying to land a hit. The hardest part? Emil's relentless nature. He doesn't give you a moment's peace to heal or regroup. Honestly, he felt way tougher than most of the main bosses, who at least gave you a few seconds to breathe. Next, we have Queen Sigrun, the Valkyrie Queen from God of War. To get to her, you first have to defeat 8 other Valkyries scattered throughout the game. And if you thought they were tough, Sigrun is their queen for a reason. She combines all the other Valkyries' most powerful moves into one devastating arsenal. When I finally reached Sigrun, I was pretty confident, but trust me, it felt like a big mistake because I got wrecked in seconds. Her speed is unmatched, her attacks are unpredictable, and she seems to have no weaknesses. You need to memorize her patterns, dodge perfectly, and counter just right to even stand a chance. Honestly, after beating her, I felt more satisfaction than from defeating Baldur or any other main boss in the game, because she's that tough. Number 8 on our list is Manus, Father of the Abyss from Dark Souls Remastered. Now, Dark Souls is known for its brutal difficulty, but Manus takes it to another level. Found in the Artorias of the Abyss DLC, Manus is an optional boss. But his difficulty makes many of the main game's bosses look like a walk in the park. I still remember the first time I fought Manus, or rather the first time he obliterated me. His attacks are aggressive with almost no telegraphing, making them incredibly hard to dodge, and that dark magic he uses, it feels almost unfair. You have to manage your stamina perfectly, dodge like a maniac, and still find the time to land a few hits. Trust me, Manus is the reason why I have a love-hate relationship with Dark Souls. Rodin from Bayonetta is a boss that many players never even get the chance to fight. He's well hidden, requiring you to purchase a special item that costs a fortune. But once you do, you unlock one of the most challenging bosses in the entire game. Facing Rodin feels like going up against a god, but wait, he actually is one. His moves are incredibly fast, and his combos are relentless. One mistake and you're down for the count. When I first fought him, I thought my controller was broken because I just couldn't keep up. He's tougher than Jubileus, the main boss, by a mile. It took me countless tries to beat him, and I still think about that fight to this day. Detlef from The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine is another boss that's way harder than the main antagonist. As a higher vampire, Detlef has several transformation phases, each more deadly than the last. His speed power and ability to regenerate health make him a formidable opponent. Fighting Detlef is like fighting a monster on steroids. He doesn't just attack, he pounces, teleports, and slashes with insane speed. The toughest part is his final phase, where he transforms into this monstrous beast. If you're not careful, you can go from full health to 0 in seconds. I honestly think he was designed to make players suffer, but in a good way. I think it is far tougher than any of the main storyline bosses in The Witcher 3. Karstag in Skyrim is a secret boss that many players don't even know exists. To summon this ghostly frost giant, you need to find his skull and bring it to his throne room. But once you do, you're in for one of the toughest fights in the game. Karstag is a beast, literally and figuratively. He's got massive health hits like a truck and can send you flying with a single blow. I remember my first attempt at fighting him. I thought I was ready with my Dragonborn shouts and Daedric armor. I was wrong. He wiped the floor with me and I had to come back way more prepared. It's a battle that makes Alduin, the main dragon boss, feel like a minor inconvenience. The Demon of Hatred in Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, is a late-game optional boss that feels out of place in a good way. He's massive, brutal, and filled with rage, very different from the precise swordplay combat the game typically requires. I was not ready for the Demon of Hatred. His huge size and sweeping fire attacks make him feel more like a Dark Souls boss. The fight is chaotic with fire everywhere and his attacks have insane range. I died so many times I lost count. He's definitely more challenging than Ishin the Sword Saint, the final boss. This battle pushed me to my limits, and it's one I'll never forget. The Nameless King from Dark Souls 3 is a legendary side boss who has become infamous among players. With his dual phases, this battle requires mastery of both dragon-riding combat and intense melee dueling. When I first encountered the Nameless King, I knew I was in trouble. The first phase riding his Stormdrake was tough enough. But the second phase, where he comes at you with powerful lightning attacks and swift movements, pure nightmare fuel. It felt like I was in a dance of death, where one wrong step meant instant demise. Definitely harder than any of the main bosses in the game. Another entry from Skyrim, the Ebony Warrior, is a hidden boss that only appears when you reach level 80. This guy is the ultimate test for any Dragonborn looking for a challenge. The Ebony Warrior is no joke. He's equipped with powerful armor, a vast array of shouts and spells that can instantly turn the tide of battle. I went into this fight cocky, thinking my high-level character could handle anything. Big mistake. He made me realize just how much I had relied on spamming my attacks. This fight required strategy, patience, and perfect timing. In my opinion, it is more challenging than any other fight in Skyrim.
We've already lost.
Finally, we have Malenia from Elden Ring. Known as the Blade of Miquella, she's an optional boss with a reputation for being one of the hardest From Software bosses ever created. Malenia is a nightmare. Her fast-paced attacks combined with her ability to heal herself every time she hits you make this fight brutally difficult. And just when you think you have her down, she transforms and becomes even more deadly. I had to rethink my entire strategy just to stand a chance. Malenia makes any of the main story bosses look like training dummies. Beating her was one of my proudest gaming moments. Alright, so those were 10 side bosses that I think are harder than the main bosses in their games. Did I miss any of your favorite tough side bosses? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell for more epic gaming content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.